This one is Tigger, and he's a 2-year-old, and he's never learned how to lower his head for the halter pressure. So we're going to show you in the next few days how we can get him, probably in about a week's time if we do it every day, how we'll have him on our knees, lowering his head for the halter. So the first step is going to be, you want to put your hand here in case, because he's a little bit pushy with his head, but this is just to protect you from getting head butted. And you're going to take your hand up here, and on each side of the forelock, there's 2 pressure points, and you can put pressure there until he lowers the slightest amount. We also have the neighbor's dog here helping us, so he's giving us a great distraction because he's jumping all around, and this colt just got here, so he's a little bit scared. But all I'm going to do is put pressure right here, and I'm just going to wait. I can go, I've got like a medium pressure. I'm going to wait, see how he raises his head up. That's natural. All horses will, 95% of horses will do that, so I'm just going to wait. And he lowered it just the slightest amount. So he didn't have it as low as he did originally, but he raised his head up, and then he lowered the slightest bit. So I took the pressure away. Notice my hand went all the way away from him. I didn't just take the pressure off and keep my hand there. I want to release with the most amount of release I can give, which is actually taking my hand off. I'll come back and I'll do it again. See, I gave just the slightest amount. It wasn't much, but he thought about doing something, so I reward. There he just put his head down, so that we're not going to count that. So I'm going to do it again. I'm just waiting. There was a little bit. Release. So everybody wants to end up at the finish line and have their horse release a lot the first time. The more you can release with the slightest try, the more they'll do it again the next time. They'll try harder and harder when they realize that they're going to get released of the pressure. Good. The dog's really giving us a good time there. He's getting into the pool and all the toys. So, but real life has distractions, right? So let's do that again. Oh, that was a good one. So in that, I'm going to go ahead and just walk him around. So there he got distracted again. See how he's not doing anything? That's okay.
Well, you got a dog underneath of him.
Oh, well, there you go. See, so again, real life has distractions. In a perfect world, we'd let the dog, ask the dog to go away, but he's not our dog and he's here, so there you go. There, that was a good one. So I'll go ahead and walk again. This is something you can just do in their stall. Every time you halter him, I'm going to ask him to lower his head a little bit more. When I turn him loose in the stall or in his paddock, I'll ask for a little bit more. And every day I'll increase how much more lowering I get from him, I'll ask for a little more try. So you don't need to do it all in one day. You're just going to keep asking for more. So in a second here, that's all I need to do for today. Okay, this is day 2 of teaching Tigger, the 2-year-old, how to lower his head for the halter and to pressure behind his hole. So he just did a little bit of desensitizing, but hasn't done any lunging or anything like that because he's not really at a stage where we're worried about teaching him all that yet. But we're going to go right back to it, put some pressure right here, and he lowered. So if you notice, that was a lot faster than the other day, but where do we release before? On a good note. We quit when he decided to do it well, practiced a few times, released at the right time. So if you do that and do it consistently, the next day will get better and better and better. So remember my saying about 1% better each day. If you at least get that 1% better each day, you'll be amazed at where you'll be in a week. So try again. So I'm going to keep my hand here to keep him from nibbling on me. So there, he went back to pressure. He's there. He leaned against me. He didn't go up a lot, but as soon as he did it, the pressure went against my fingers. So I just stayed with him. You can go harder, but kind of wait on that and just keep the pressure the same until it just isn't working. And if you get an older horse or a real stoic horse, you may have to go harder. But, wait a little bit to see if that is necessary, because the goal is to start with the lightest amount of pressure and get the horse to go down. So if you never start with it, you'll never get it in the first place, in the long run. All right, so we'll try that again. Oh, that was a really nice one. So the other day I kind of walked around, but he's not quite as fidgety today. So if you want to, walk around and do it again. But since he's willing to stand still and not worried about his environment today, I'm just going to step back a little bit. Of course, it helps that he's wanting to look at things on the ground. There's no problem with using your environment to your advantage. I remember one girl doing this and she had some hay underneath them. As long as it works and you release the pressure, it will still work when there's not hay underneath of them. after he learns the concept. So there he went up. So remember what horses do against pressure? They always go against pressure. But when he went down, I released. I'll try it again. So his first instinct, there he's thinking about it. So he's kind of coming down there, but he's pushing against me at the same time, so I can't allow that because I can't have rudeness. Nice. So what did he do? He regressed. They always kind of get the concept, get a little bit better, and then they regress. Don't let it frustrate you. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It certainly applies to horses. Sometimes they decide they know what you want. They're kind of like, okay, I've done this already. Why do I keep doing it? But practice makes perfect, right? And remember, we want him to make mistakes so he'll really get this concept in. All right. Yeah. So you notice where he is now compared to the other day where he's up here. So he's already lower in here. Now I'm not on my knees yet, right? But you're just kind of getting to that sweet spot all the time. And traditionally when we halter, we're probably down here anyway. But just one day's worth of work and releasing at the right time, he's already figuring it out. I can choose my rope. Nice. So at this point, if he did like start throwing his head up really fast or like taking his head and kind of tossing it towards me, then I would just keep a little pressure on him, because sometimes at that, when you get down a little bit far, they'll kind of take their head and push into you and kind of get a little ornery. So, you know, now that he has the idea of a concept lesson, then I'm going to start asking for a little bit of manners too. Okay, nice. Oh, that's nice. So I'm going to walk a little circle and then come back. All right, we've walked a little circle, reset his brain. Good, nice, very nice. And like I said, if he wanted to smell the ground there, that'd be awesome. And he's curious, and when they lower their head, that's a big sign of comfort around you, because by lowering their head, they're putting themselves in a vulnerable position. So, nice. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it one more time because he tossed his head away from me when I pet him. And if he does that again, we're going to quit there for today. This is day 2. See, so there, you see how he's kind of just a little bit tossing his head. I'm not really even putting any pressure on him. He's just kind of getting like, I've done that. So I'm just going to wait him out. See, I'm going to wait him out on the flossiness there. Wait till he's just a little bit compliant about it. That's a place people will kind of not recognize. And, you know, I'm not asking for too much. So, light pressure, nice. Took the head back up. So again, I'm going to start asking for just a little bit more manners. Nice. I think mainly because he's distracted, but it's a good excuse for him. But you know, he's going to start working in a couple months, so a little focus. Oh, very nice. That was a really good place to stop. So tomorrow on day 3, we'll just start asking for a little bit more. Good job. Good job. All right.
You're radioing.
Okay, I think this is day 4 of teaching Tigger how to put his head down, with the goal of being able to put his halter on from your knees. Now, you know, he's a 2-year-old and he hasn't been healed much, so he's a little more fidgety and sometimes a little flighty at my hands. So this is probably a good exercise for him. Most of you guys' horses are probably going to be a little bit more broke, let's say. But this will be a good test for him because they said he was hard to catch in the stall, and he was a little bit. So every day when I go in to put the halter on, I'm just trying to progress this even further. So even though I may not, it's been a couple days since I've actually worked specifically on this exercise, if I do take him out of the stall, I'm going to just work on that lowering the head to my pole pressure, just so it kind of makes me practice it and it lets him practice it. So we're kind of fanatical that when we turn a horse out, he has to lower his head to take the halter off, and the same for putting the halter on. So we're gonna, obviously he's ADD. Okay, so I'm gonna, remember how, see how he's getting just a little bit fussy about doing it. Actually, he's just playing with my stuff. He needs a job. Okay, so we're gonna say lower your head, and I'm gonna wait for him to stop fussing, like right there. When he actually went all the way down, that's what I'm looking for. So you see he's progressed every day to get further and further. So now, since he's got a clear idea of that, I'll start doing it with the halter. And you know, you need to have a halter that you can unbuckle at the crown here versus the type to pull over their ears. In fact, I don't even have one of this other type in my barn. I just really just dislike them. Okay, so you want to take it off here. If I was going to turn him loose in the stall, see how he's fussing around and he's trying to, I'm going to wait till he lowers his head and then I'm going to take it off. That's a good little habit to have, especially when you're turning them out. So now I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. See how low I'm putting that? I want him to find that halter, not eat the halter, but at least find the halter. See how his nose went away? So I'm going to wait again. There. So I put a little halter pressure on him and tried to get him to come down and fish his nose into that halter. Also see how when I'm tying right here that he's not raising his head? Normally they will. When you tie that, that's right there by their eye, and it's just a little bit of a claustrophobic area for a horse. So if he did, I just put pressure, ask him to lower it, and continue asking that while I'm putting the halter on. So maybe I have to kind of keep asking, but I'll keep picking at that and say, no, just put your head down, please. So he really needs a job. Okay, so same thing for taking it off. There we go, nice. Now, you know, like I said, we're just exaggerating this just to kind of play a game and see if we can challenge our horsemanship and our groundwork. But I really like that, so I want to do that again. I'm going to ask him to lower. He missed the hole, so not my problem. Ask again. And the lower you go, the more likely this is to happen, right? There, very nice. He's a very, very smart colt, which is a little bit why he's ADD, because he really wants something to do. Good. I'll do this a lot. He didn't really like that, so let's make that a reward. I'm going to rub you between the eyes, touch your ears, and do all this, and make it a very pleasant thing as a reward versus just kind of picking on him to work on him. So let's do it again. So this time, I may not get on my knees yet, but I'm going to kind of come down here. I'm going to be very aware of where my horse's head is, because he could headbutt me pretty easy. There we go, nice. Very good boy. He's going to be a really nice horse.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Davey and Eric. All right, so let's go ahead and try it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but I'm going to go ahead and get on my knees.
You kind of
now, what's that?
You kind of, shadows kind of blocking him too.
So what should I do?
Just
Should
stay
you
back,
change the angle?
stay back as much as you can.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to.
I know.
Maybe you should kind of come in a forward angle.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to help a whole lot.
I don't want to be back too far on my knees yet on him.
Yeah.
So, we're going to leave that in the video there, but we're just discussing, how we can see that. But, I mean, normally I would probably do this in their stall where I have a little more control, but we're trying to get some better lighting for you guys because it's the end of the day and it's nice to have the white background. But now I'm in this big open arena. He's likely to try to take off when I do this, so I'm kind of not setting myself up to win, am I? And so that's why I don't want to get way back here when I do it. So we're just going to have Davey change the camera angle a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have him come down, and then I'm going to go ahead and go like this, and see I've got one knee. I'm still going to keep the other one just in case, because he's two, and he's full of energy. He might try to just run and bust forward and kick me in the head or something. So I'm always aware, but I'm not trying to stifle my horse or be scared of him. I'm aware, but I don't try to act nervous around him. Good job. That was very nice. Let's try one more time. So this is day 4. We've skipped some days in between in terms of I haven't been able to do this every single day on video, but I know Davey's just like I am. If he has put a halter on this colt and turned them out, then he's asked him to put his head down just as a little bit of practice. Not on our knees. We've not ever asked him to do it on our knees yet, but it just shows you what's possible with that pressure release, releasing at the right point. Very nice. Okay, so see right there, he almost thought about going forward, so I said, don't do that. Very good job, buddy. And I gotta say, life is a lot easier when you start with a good-minded colt. If you have one, yeah, he's nibbling at me and all that, but he's trying so hard. So would you rather start with one that's a little bit kind of ornery and, you know, doesn't want to do it, flighty, or would you like one that says, you know, what can I do? And honestly, I didn't expect to be here that quick, so that just shows you how good his mind is. So this is Tigger, and this will probably be his graduation on this. I might do one more day, but I don't really see why I need to on video. He's going to be gray one day. It's probably hard to see his color, but see how he's going. He's got the stripe here, and see how it's kind of roning out. He will actually be a nice white gray one day. His mother right now is still a big dapple with the black legs and black mane. So we're hoping he goes through that color stage first, but it'll probably be another year before you really see the gray in him. Good job.
Run him around there so we can see him.
All right, which one do you want to see, the body?
Just turn him around. There you go.
And so the trick to telling a gray is looking at their face, and their face will always gray out before the rest of their body. You can also look at the bottom of his tail and see how the bottom of his tail is gray and the top of it is black. So if you ever see a horse and it's advertised as a roan or some other color, if the bottom of the tail is silver or white and the rest of it is dark, he's going to go gray. If there's some gray on the head, sometimes in the roans it's hard to tell, but traditionally a roan is like Homer. It should be a black or very dark head and then fading out throughout the body. But the tail and around the eyes is a dead giveaway. So I've actually bought a blue roan before that was supposed to be a blue roan, and I had him for about 2 months, and I realized by his tail that he was a gray. He's a beautiful gray, but he's still gray.
Usually look at them parents.
Well, you can, but that still doesn't tell you everything.
Right. But if it's a gray mama,
There's a 50%
no blue
chance.
roan baby in there,
Yeah.
mama or daddy in there, it's probably going to be a gray instead of a roan. The good thing about this one is his mama is so pretty.
Yes, yeah. So he's gonna make a nice horse, and what we'll probably do is turn him out in another week and turn him out to just grow up. He's still a big baby. I don't like starting 2-year-olds unless I have to. We might do some groundwork with them and stuff, but there's no rush to ride him and sit on his back and, you know, run him into the ground. Maybe this spring we'll do a 30-day time under saddle and then go from there. Maybe we'll wait even longer to the fall to start serious work. But the goal for him would be an ultimate trail horse, and hopefully he shows us
Foundation quarter horse.
Yeah, he's a foundation quarter horse, but I hope that he'll make our ultimate trail horse program.
Right.
And if his brain is right, then he will. And right now he's given us a lot of promise. All right then.